Hang on. Okay, I do need to be serious. Okay, this is my audience. Got Link, Lena, Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing worse than when you go out on the highway and you see that traffic is backed up bumper to bumper on a rainy day. Um, or even worse, you get a text from someone you know saying that they've gotten into a wreck because they were driving in the rain and lost control, or someone around them lost control, or getting into a wreck yourself because you were driving in the rain and lost control. So, according to research done by Gabriel Kahn in Los Angeles, you're 80% more likely to wreck if you're driving in the rain versus driving in normal weather. Uh, so, according to the Federal Highway Administration, there's 6 million wrecks a year, and out of those 6 million wrecks in the US, 12% of those happen whenever it's raining. Um, that's 700,000 wrecks every year from people driving in the rain. So obviously there's an issue here where people are driving in the rain without understanding. Like there's a different skill set that you need than driving in normal weather. So the Defensive Driving Institute has some information about what makes driving in the rain more dangerous than driving in normal weather conditions. So, first of all, whenever it rains, that water will collect on the roads. It makes the roads slick and it makes oil come up that has collected on the road. Not only that, but whenever there's water on the road, your tires have to displace it to make good contact with the ground. And whenever it doesn't displace enough water, you can hydroplane, which is what happens whenever instead of your tires connecting with the ground, you have your tires are just driving over a layer of water. When this happens, it's almost impossible to control your car, and that's a good way to get into a wreck is when you start hydroplaning. So you have reduced tire traction, hydroplaning. Not only that, but you're not able to stop as quickly because you don't have as much control over your car whenever you don't have good traction. As well as fog that you have to worry about, and you have less visibility in the rain. Not just trying to see through the rain itself, but you also have like fogged up windshields and just fog on the windows in your car. So there's some tips that you can use to keep yourself safe if you have to drive in the rain. So AAA actually has a really good article for that called Wet Weather Driving Tips. And so one thing that you can do to make sure that when you drive in the rain, you're being safe is just check your car before you even get on the road. Make sure that all your lights are working because visibility is one of the biggest problems with driving in the rain. So you want to check your headlights, check your brake lights, check your tail lights. Just make sure everything is working, and your windshield wipers too, because if your windshield wipers aren't working properly, then you're not going to be able to see out of your windshield as well. You also want to make sure that your tires have good air pressure, because if your tires don't have good air pressure, that's also going to affect your traction, which can make it more likely for you to hydroplane. So this is a big one that I've noticed that a lot of people I know personally are not aware of, but if you're driving in the rain, don't use your cruise control, because whenever you have your car set to cruise control, you already don't have the same amount of control. Because if you have your cruise control on and you're driving and you come up to a puddle, you're not going to be able to just let off the gas pedal to slow down. You're going to have to brake to take your car out of cruise control. So that's dangerous if you are already having like bad traction and you start to hydroplane. Whenever you brake, that throws off the balance of your car even more. And if you do have it in cruise control and you start to hydroplane and you don't brake, then your car is probably going to spin out. So yeah, don't use your cruise control whenever you're driving in the rain. Uh, and also, if you do start your hydroplane, just don't freak out. That's the biggest thing is don't panic. You want to keep your eyes focused on the part of the road that you want to travel in, and you want to keep your wheels pointed where you want to go. Don't try to overcorrect, and don't try to brake because that's just going to throw off the balance of your car even more. So just think about it. If everyone followed these tips and drove well in the rain, you wouldn't have to worry about getting onto the highway and your drive home takes twice as long because someone was like following too close behind someone else in the rain and couldn't stop in time, or they didn't slow it down enough, or started a hydroplane. And it would make driving a lot safer if everyone followed these tips. So next time it rains and you have to drive somewhere, just slow down and make sure that you're driving safely